Hey everybody, welcome to the first house church video for our Four Loves series. It's a side week. Now, although it's the first video for this series is actually just another chapter in really a three-part series that's been going on for a while. We're starting the third segment here with the Four Loves, and we started with the Soul Search series, which was about purification of your motives, your heart, getting that soul uncorrupted and ready to bear fruit and experience God and be free and all those things that we enjoyed. And then the next series was about the soil, about becoming a place where the good things of God can take root and grow, and we went back to basics there. Now, with the Four Loves, we're talking about our four prayers, becoming a church that represents the demographic of our community. In Portage, that's 1/3 First Nations. In Nipawin, that's 1/3 Filipino. We're talking about contributing to our town's well-being in the way that has them win awards. We're talking about being a rural multi-site church, intentionally reaching out to rural Manitoba and beyond, really those people that aren't on the radar of most organizations, but us intentionally honoring them and pursuing them. And then we're also about one-touch healing, understanding that when Jesus comes into somebody's life, he can change them instantly, whether that's emotional, spiritual, or physical. So those are our four prayers. My question as I worked through this, and maybe it's your question as well, is about the title of the series. If this is about our four prayers, why is it called Four Loves? That's a good question. And it comes around this way. As I was working on this series, I found myself going in this direction, that I was actually trying to convince you of the legitimacy of these four prayers. So take something like healing. I'm going through the scriptures looking for places where, oh, Jesus healed, and then it seems to be the case that we ought to heal. Or, look, Jesus wants all sorts of people to be in the kingdom of God. It should be an incredibly diverse place where everybody is welcome. Oh, how about that? Let's agree with that. Let's try and be a church like that, etc., etc. Basically trying to prove to you the legitimacy of these four prayers. And my question really was, why am I trying to do that? My light bulb moment came when I realized I'm trying to do that because in some sense at PAC, and I'll use this language on Sunday, we're still dating those four prayers. We haven't actually committed to loving them. And just like when you're dating somebody, it can feel like this endless audition to be somebody's spouse. It's even worse if you're just living together. You're constantly trying to impress. You can't ever relax. You're not too sure about this and that, and you're holding everything hostage. So things like, in the case of the prayers, the terminology, like, yeah, I don't know about 1/3. Is that the right fraction? Is that the best way to, that kind of thing? I don't know about award winning. That sounds kind of proud, and we should be humble, instead of just going, wow, this is who we are. This is what we're called to. These sorts of things are clearly on God's heart. Let's just sell out to it, commit to it. And my light bulb moment came when I realized we won't actually advance these things if they remain just prayers. For us to be the kind of church that brings them, they have to become loves, because when your loves change, then your reflexes change. So you're not really going anymore, oh, right, I'm wanting to be part of an award-winning town. I guess I should put my shopping cart away and try and make the place look a little better, make my house look nice, join some social club, volunteer, whatever it might be. Instead, you've fallen in love with this idea. You're captured by a vision of it, and it just flows out of you. Your actual reflexes change. The biblical word for when your reflexes change so that your heart cares about the same things that God does and it flows out of you is sanctification. To the extent that we love these prayers, to the extent that we're sanctified, is the extent that they're going to actually happen. They have to move from prayers to loves, although we'll still pray about it. That was my light bulb moment. My conviction is that as we are vulnerable and commit to these prayers, we will fall in love with them. So it's not a matter of going, well, they don't really do much for me. No, that's not how love works. That's how infatuation works. That's how you fall in and out of infatuation when something's not doing it for you or someone is doing it for you, then they aren't. We're talking about covenant, fidelity, commitment here that would have me say, I'm actually going to do the things that move these prayers forward, and in the process, I'm going to trust that they will captivate me, they'll capture me, and they'll have my heart. That's how love works. You actually get to choose what you love by the habits you form and the things that you're focusing on when you set your affections, your guts, your heart, your mind, all of you, you set it on the things that are above, the things that are on God's mind, God's heart, like diversity, like beautification in a town and it becoming a city shining on a hill, like the rest of our 4 prayers. So it's not a matter of going, they just don't resonate with me. It's a matter of saying, I am going to commit myself to these. I'm going to become the kind of person that can fall in love with them. And then you will. And out of that vulnerability, you'll have a depth of emotion to them. And these 4 prayers will motivate you. They will be your heartbeat. And they might even break your heart as they're slow in coming. But that's okay. That's what it means to love. There's my question mark, my light bulb, my arrow. And I hope you have a great side week as you dive into each other's lives. You can even maybe spin this out into like the greater question of, why am I hesitant to love certain things? Why am I scared of having my heart broken, committed, and that kind of stuff, if that's appropriate in your house church. So you're talking about relationships and why you're held back from love there, but you're also talking about, why have I not chosen to love these prayers when clearly they're the sorts of things that are on God's heart? What's really going on there? And if you can get to the center of that, you're set. Out of your heart will flow love for these prayers. Your reflexes will change, and heaven will come to earth in Portage and Neepawa in those ways. Grace and peace, everyone. Have a great house church.